Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So I just finished mowing the shop floor, so we have some decent area to work, and it's time to work on the 1983 Honda ATC200X. You guys remember the clutch was sticking, and quite honestly it was disappointingly easy to fix. Quite honestly, all I did was take all the play out of this, spun this out, and put the clutch in, put it in first gear, and I didn't even start it. I just quite honestly rocked it back and forth, and as a matter of fact, and you guys could see the clutch is now loose, and then right. So that was a piece of cake to fix, right? Really easy. But as usual with Harvey's luck, I turned the gas on to give it a start, and it flooded, right? Dripped some gas on the ground. Whenever that happens to me, obviously I push this away from the spill, and I light that up because one doesn't need that working its way into the drinking water. Anyway, what we got to do next is, take the plastic and gas tank off and spend a few minutes cleaning up the carburetor. I'm going to take you guys through a little bit of that. By the way, while I was mowing the shop floor, I found this sitting there. This is actually the way it came, with that rack in the back. And obviously they kept a gun back there on the rack. So they used it for hunting. For me, this particular hand clutch type operation, kind of annoying if you're trying to go hunting, right? You're trying to work your way around trees and shrubs, and you got to kind of mess around with a clutch, and your gun's sticking off on both sides of here, grabbing trees. I would probably be more for a front gun rack, and quite honestly, I'd probably be more something tucking in tight, so I can kind of keep an eye on it and make sure I'm not wounding my gun or anything like that. Hanging off the back of there, I can picture it being nothing but trouble. Anyway, I'm going to pull the plastic off and we'll take a look at that carburetor. So getting the plastic off is easy. There's a latch in the back, you just pop it off. Gas tank, a couple of bolts go in here, and then once again the seat hooks under it. So that was easy enough to take apart. The carburetor, I think you guys could see, there you go, is an OEM Kevin original equipment. So I'm going to take this apart. Hopefully it's not too nasty inside and we can bring it back, because it never hurts to try to keep these as original as possible. By the way, easy enough, right? Just take the top off like this, right? A lot of times if your engine is all over the place, the looser this needle is, like that's pretty loose. That's not helping matters. Anyway, I'm gonna undo that clamp, and a couple of 10 millimeters, and the carburetor's right out. Don't have to mess with any choke leakage or anything like that. Very simple. Okay, here we have it. I already broke these loose. It's just a matter of spinning them out. Got a nice flat table to work on. Let's do our best not to roll anything off the end of it, and we'll go on from there. Generally speaking, what makes these carburetors so much better than the China stuff is they fit and finish the metal better. So with the new gasoline, you don't have the trouble of the carburetor oxidizing, right? You just don't have to deal with that quite as much, right? That oxidation leads to particles, and those particles plug up the jets. They also, I think, because of, doesn't look too horrible, I did have preservative in this. Anyway, also, I think because the metal isn't finished as well, it also leads the gasoline to kind of break into stuff like ugly brown stuff, and once again the particles that I mentioned and all that. Just plug this up. Anyway, so I'm going to spin this out, spin that out, spin that out. We'll look at the jets, the idle, the main. We'll take the fuel valve off because that's stuck and that kind of led to its flooding, and we'll see if we see anything really horrible in any of these places. Okay, this is the main jet, and if you look through those holes there, you can see they're actually clear. And if you look through, hopefully I'm showing it to you. Yeah, there it is. You can see that that's clear too. So maybe from flooding, that is partially blocked. I'll run a wire through it. Those are clear. Yep, you can see them there. And those are clear. So I'm just going to run a wire to it and clean it up. This carburetor has been cleaned a lot over its, how old are we? 7 takes us to 90, then 30, 37 years. You can see it's all etched and pitted, and quite honestly, it just barely has enough to hold together. But I'm going to run solvent through it, and we'll do our best to clean it up. When you take out the idle mixture valve here, make sure there's a spring that comes with it. You can see the spring right there. Don't lose that. So anyway, I'm going to, run some solvent through it and, run a wire through all those holes and put it back together again, and we should be running in no time. So here is the float turn off plunger, the fuel fill valve, so to speak. And you guys can see there's quite a bit of material on it, and quite honestly, even the rubber plunger doesn't look all that healthy. I'm going to clean it up and reuse it, but this carburetor can use a rebuild kit. Quite honestly, you could use a new carburetor, but we're going to stay with the OEM. We're going to make it work. So I just did a carburetor cleaning. It was not a rebuild. Nothing was changed. And a few things to double check. First of all, no spare parts. That's a good sign. Second of all, I tightened this in and counted how many turns it would take to set the idle needle valve. And it took one full turn to close it. And so when you take it all apart, you put it together, you tighten it down, not hard, just so it's a little snug, and you back it off one full turn. That should set your idle mixture approximately where it belongs. The other thing is, when you turn it upside down, you try to blow into that, it should be closed, and you turn it back over, it should open, and quite honestly, you should hear that the float goes back and forth as you flip it back and forth, right? That way you're opening and closing the fuel, the bowl fill valve. All right, just got to smash this back on and hopefully it fires right up. Okay, so it started up on the third kick, which is good. Seems to be idling away. Might have a slight occasional miss. I don't know. I'm going to run it and see how she behaves herself. She hasn't been out much, and that spark plug is nothing great. Maybe that's the problem. Anyway, I'm going to throw the GoPro on. We'll get a ride out of it. Okay, here we go. Let's see what this thing wants to do. Get everything adjusted. Remember, there is the exhaust is a little bit messed up in the front. I also tightened up the shifter lever, so hopefully she shifts a little better. Carb's working good. I gotta cut down some of these branches. One day I'm gonna take one across the forehead and end up on the ground. The nice thing about a manual clutch, you can kind of use the engine to hold it back a little better, hold the all-terrain vehicle back. I gotta get back here with the big scissors, so to speak. Bring some of this brush back. Yeah, carburetor seems happier. Engine seems happier. It probably just had to run a little bit. Right? Everything likes to get out and play once in a while. So it seems that these days I'm doing about 4 videos a week. Without hitting the flea market and all. And with these longer videos, it's kind of hard to come up with the time to do much more than that. Typically, you know, a video you guys might be watching that's 15 minutes long normally takes me 4 to 6 hours to kind of get everything on the memory chip, and then I kind of watch the pieces, make sure they're going to work, Make sure I don't have to go back out and redo something. Then I stitch them together. Normally takes the video editor, I don't know, 15-20 minutes to kind of glue all the pieces together and download it on the computer. Then it's like another 15-20 minutes to upload it. Then I got to put the tags on it, pick the thumbnail. This is almost like a real job. Except, what real job lets you go out and play in an all-terrain vehicle paradise? I think I ate a bug. Anyway, shut the gas off. I'm happy we got this running again. Get it all ready to come out and play. Doesn't seem like I fit. Well, went right into neutral. Sitting here idling. I gotta tell you, God loves a Honda all-terrain vehicle. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for, I turned off the gas, so it's good to run out. Anyway, I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.